Hello everyone, and this is Mike Rato. And welcome back to a new episode where today we're going to talk about what if Dolph Ziggler never got injured in 2013. Well, he was the World Heavyweight Champion during this time. He successfully cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase against Alberto Del Rio. And yes, he is the main event player for SmackDown during this time. And the people kind of turned him face, even though he acts like a heel during this time, and they turned on Del Rio. And then this match actually happened where the double turned with Del Rio and Ziggler that time, in which Del Rio turned heel and Ziggler turned face because the people applaud him for his efforts. And yes, I think he got concussed. Correct me if I'm wrong in that time. And then Del Rio got his second World Championship run, World Heavyweight Championship. And as for Dolph Ziggler, well, he got a lot of Intercontinental reign after, and he never got the World Championship scene again. He was a contender for the titles for the WWE Championship or World Heavyweight Championship, but unfortunately for him, he never won the title back. So in this what if, we will book him into Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler and this time never got concussed or injured. And yes, the payback match actually happened with Del Rio losing to Dolph Ziggler. And even though that match happened, the double turn actually happened here. It is a huge point that this should happen because Dolph Ziggler is over with the fans. And even though WWE is trying to censor the boos or trying to not show it in television, but the crowd support for him is quite strong because of the cash in. And Del Rio turns heel and they feud until Money in the Bank before Dolph Ziggler left AJ Lee and Biggie Langston. And good thing because also it solidifies Dolph Ziggler's face turn, and this actually starts a push for Big E. And yes, he will have a World Championship match against Dolph Ziggler, but he will lose those matches. So after the feud with Del Rio, he will feud with AJ and Biggie Langston, and Dolph Ziggler will win in that feud. Also, Caitlyn in his side. After that, unfortunately for him, John Cena will kind of win the title. I'm not sure if in this what if we will put that because Cena versus Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship will happen no matter what. Because yes, Randy Orton and Cena will have this rivalry, and then it will have a start for the feud for Daniel Bryan. And as for Dolph Ziggler, he will be moved to the mid-card division where he will win mid-card titles as of this point. Fast forward, Daniel Bryan has his push, Roman Reigns actually started his push here, Seth Rollins actually means the Money in the Bank, and then all over that rivalry. And then yes, Dolph Ziggler will actually be in the mid-card scene, and Dolph Ziggler has a longer run for the World Heavyweight Championship in this timeline. Yes, it's kind of short, but if you think about it, during the 2013 title run of Dolph Ziggler, he didn't get buried so much. And he will have in this timeline also a second World Championship run for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. In the next run, it will kind of feud his heel moment, and we will fast forward to 2019 or 2020, of whatever year Dolph Ziggler is actually feuding for the World Championship. And for this timeline, he will actually beat someone who is a credible world champion. And yes, Dolph Ziggler will actually beat Dean Ambrose in this timeline in 2016. He will have a short world championship run because I think This is the time also that the audience are turning against Dean. Sorry for Ambrose fans, but it's kind of during this time the audience are turning on Dean because of the Stone Cold podcast, and he will have a short World Championship run. Dolph Ziggler will have also a short World Championship run. Or if we don't book him right here, we can have a short World Championship run also for Dolph Ziggler in 2019 against Kofi Kingston. So you can just take your pick. As for me, well, I'm just picking at this time the most sensible one. And yes, Dolph Ziggler actually beats Dean Ambrose because the audience are turning on Dean Ambrose. And in this timeline, Dolph Ziggler kind of got the reception of a babyface. But unfortunately for him, AJ Styles will beat him before the year is over. And AJ Styles will have his run for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And as for AJ Styles, he will have this rivalry with Dolph Ziggler at Royal Rumble 2017, and John Cena will not win the WWE title in this timeline. And Bray Wyatt will win the title at Elimination Chamber. So AJ Styles' title run also got shortened, but he will get the title soon. Just like in real life, he will have this long reign in his second run. And unfortunately for Bray Wyatt, he will have a long title run, and he will be having a feud with Randy Orton. And as for Dolph Ziggler, well, he will go back to the mid-card scene where he will win the titles. As I mentioned, people will support him in the mid-card scene until WWE finally pushes him again. But in this timeline, the world title caliber opponents and the contenders as of this time, it kind of makes sense because Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. But in this timeline also, well, we will not have the push for Jinder Mahal for the Indian tour, and Bray Wyatt will retain the title at WrestleMania. Therefore, he will have a longer run. We will not bury Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. So, the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, was actually carried by Bray Wyatt in this time, and Dolph Ziggler will try to recapture his title against Bray Wyatt, but unfortunately for him, he will not have a third run. He will actually have a feud for the title in 2017, but unfortunately for him, he will not regain the title this year. 2018 has come, and actually a babyface, AJ Styles, beats the man who got his title, and that is Bray Wyatt. And Jinder Mahal in this timeline never wins the WWE title. Instead, he wants a mid-card title, which is the United States Championship, in which he will brag it into India that they got the, I think, the most dominant title, the most dominant country, just like that type of storyline, because Vince McMahon likes putting foreign caliber talents into the United States Championship. So they will have that storyline also with Jinder Mahal. Whichever title, the mid-card title, is on SmackDown, they will have Jinder Mahal dominate the mid-card division. He will not win the World Championship in this timeline. And 2017, AJ Styles will have his World Championship run. So where is Dolph Ziggler in this timeline? Well, he will be the one who will dethrone Jinder Mahal for the mid-card title that he is holding. And after that match, Dolph Ziggler kind of turned heel. Why did I make him a heel in this timeline? Well, people are calling him stale, some marks are calling him this type of things. And Dolph Ziggler wants to capitalize on his career. When he has these small World Championship runs, he felt that he isn't that dominant enough, that he wants something more, that he wants the world championship again, but instead he won this mid card title. And as for world championship, AJ Styles is holding it until the heel turn of Shinsuke Nakamura, and a heel Nakamura wins the title in 2018, and we will actually push Shinsuke here, but we will not focus on Shinsuke here. Instead, we will focus on Dolph Ziggler. And as for him in the mid-card title, well, he will dominate that brand. As I told you, he will be a more credible champion, and he will feud with The Miz and them having also a hot potato. But not every month that they will change titles, but let's say 2 or 3 months or more than that, just to have The Miz have his 8th Intercontinental title reigns. And so, the World Championship picture consists of Nakamura, AJ Styles in this timeline, and a heel Daniel Bryan will actually come into play after a triple threat match between, let's say, heel Nakamura and John Cena, AJ Styles, and then Daniel Bryan will kind of insert him also in the feud, and that means the World Championship run of Daniel Bryan starts. In this time, actually beating either AJ Styles or John Cena, pinning them or pinning Nakamura. And he will have this eco-friendly title run with actually Kofi Kingston winning the title in 2019, and Dolph Ziggler will challenge Kofi Kingston, but he will have also a third World Championship run here, because after he feud with Kofi Kingston, someone will challenge Kofi Kingston, and yes, Dolph Ziggler will challenge Kofi Kingston again. And for his final match, it is labeled as retirement versus title match for the title, just like in 2016 with the Intercontinental title in real life, while Ziggler is winning the title here, and Brock Lesnar will not win the title here. Instead, they will build a feud with Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre, because they have this tag team in 2018, which I almost forgot that it exists here. The tag team in 2018, which Dolph Ziggler will actually be drafted to Raw, and then yes, he will have a tag team with Drew McIntyre, and that's the rivalry, the Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler story, in which the two actually fueled their past and etc. They will talk about it, and then just like in real life, the virus spreads. That means that WWE goes into Performance Center, and yes, Drew McIntyre wins the title instead of Dolph Ziggler jobbing to Drew McIntyre in real life and not having the title. Well, he will be the champion going forward, and he will have this heat before the virus comes. He will have this huge heat with the fans, having his heels effort and trying to gain more and more heat as the days goes by, and the people are cheering for Drew McIntyre because he is the most over guy. And as for Brock Lesnar, he entered the Royal Rumble. He will try to challenge for the title, and he will be eliminated by Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar will not win the title. I know Brock is a huge draw, but let's just put the title on the full-timers, shall we? And then yes, our feud with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre happens, and then the rematch happens with Dolph Ziggler putting over Drew McIntyre. So what happens next? Well, we won't have the Otis versus Dolph Ziggler feud. We won't have the Mandy Rose storyline, and Dolph Ziggler has a kind of dominating title run, even though I put him also in a short title run somewhere in the middle. But I think him being a world champion, well, it makes good sense. And yes, that is for our short what if. What if Dolph Ziggler kind of have a good dominant as a world champion? What if Dolph Ziggler never injured himself in 2013? And this is Mike Rato, and I hope you support my channel more, and also view my second channel at Boss Mike Memes and Merch Reviews, where we talk about merchandises of anime, memes in real life, memes in Facebook, and merchandises in even your favorite actor and actresses. So thank you for watching, and this is Mike Rato, and this is our short what if. What if Dolph Ziggler never injured himself in 2013, and also what if he got a good world title run? Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more videos.